Donald Trump has claimed victory in the U.S. election after winning in Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina. These are three of the crucial swing states that determine the outcome of the U.S. election. And Trump has addressed supporters in his hometown of Palm Beach, Florida. He promised a new, quote, golden age for America and said he would help the country heal. Votes are still being counted, but Trump's win in Pennsylvania leaves Kamala Harris with no path to the presidency. Trump's Republican Party has also seized control of the Senate, flipping 2 seats to overturn a narrow Democratic majority. So Donald Trump has already declared victory, and here is some of what he had to say to his supporters in Palm Beach, Florida.
It is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
Donald Trump has claimed victory in the U.S. elections. We're still waiting on official confirmation of that victory, but it does look like there is no conceivable way in which the Harris campaign can reach that magic figure of 270 electoral college votes. And Nicole, you've been looking at the results so far, and you can help us
I've been looking at the results, and I believe we can now actually see that map of the United States, and that would make it a lot less abstract for those of you watching us from home. Maybe we can pull up the map of the United States and then we can go through the results so far. Exactly. So what we see in dark red are the states that have already been called. Same with dark blue states. We still have 4 of those crucial battleground states that now, after Pennsylvania was called, are a lot less crucial, but are still needed for Donald Trump maybe to take this across the line. Minnesota was just called for Kamala Harris a couple of minutes ago. That is 10 electoral votes. That is a little boost for her, but it's not going to be enough to take her across the finish line. Now, why have other news outlets like Fox News, for example, you know, historically very, very close to the Republican Party, called this election already for Donald Trump? Well, the state of Alaska has 3 electoral votes, and those have been solidly red for, you know, many years. And those are 3. Those would take him across the finish line. Right now, we can look at Minnesota, that result that was just recently called by the AP with 90% of votes counted. Kamala Harris has a 52% advantage. There, again, that is not going to help her. There is virtually, at this point, no way to get her across the finish line. Wisconsin is probably going to be the next state to be called with 91% of votes counted at this point. And there, too, Donald Trump right now has a 4% lead, if I'm reading that correctly. Yeah, that is Wisconsin. And with that, also, he would be, of course, over the 270 threshold with a significant margin. So really, there's no way for Kamala Harris at this point to turn this around. Essentially, many routes to official victory for Donald Trump and none for Kamala Harris at this point. Just so our viewers know what they're looking at, that's visuals from the Trump watch party at Palm Beach, Florida, that's playing in the corner of the screens. And you can see the joy there. President Trump, perhaps President-elect Trump, not official as yet, was there a while back thanking his family and his campaign and others who helped him on this journey and this performance. Let's go straight to Washington, D.C., where DW Bureau Chief Ines Paul is standing by. Ines, a stunning comeback of sorts from Donald Trump there. What can we expect from a new Trump administration?
This speech he just delivered was quite remarkable, Barish, when we remember the speech he delivered 4 years ago when he kind of claimed victory when he didn't win the White House. He didn't do that tonight. Of course, the way he approached his family and his audience, he's sure and certain that he will win the election, but he didn't go that far. And everything he basically said about the election is true. He said that he won the young, the old voters, women and male, Latinos, African Americans, Asians, whites. So that was, in my understanding, because I followed many of his rallies, kind of remarkable. He spared us with a lot of false claims. It's also telling, and this is also kind of a little bit of a look into the future, how much time he spent talking about Elon Musk. Elon Musk definitely will play a bigger role in his government with all the implication when it comes to regulation of big tech firms. So this is something which will definitely change. And then, of course, he talked a little bit about migration, but also for him, in a humble way, he said we let people come back in, but on a legal way. I think what stood out for me here is that he kind of painted a picture of someone who wants to heal America, who wants to make America, of course, great again, but also bring it together. That's classic, typical for someone who won a presidential election to also reach out to the other side, and he also did that at the very end of the speech.
He seems to have won the popular vote as well. I mean, are we looking at a protest vote here from Americans, or is this indeed a vote for Donald Trump because they believe in him?
I think it's actually both. I mean, you're talking a lot about the fact that life has become so expensive here. I mean, everybody feels it every day in the pocket. We discussed throughout the whole night that kind of really things which the Biden administration did well for its people didn't really come across. And people definitely protested that in this vote. But I think they also believe in some basics Donald Trump stands for. They want someone whom they think can stand up to other foreign leaders. They're obviously a different understanding of masculinity than the approach the Kamala Harris team put out there. Many Latinos, many African American voters, many Arab voters obviously want this traditional kind of strong man back in the House. And then, of course, people have the feeling that under the leadership of Donald Trump, the world was a safer place. We now have the war in Ukraine. We have the crisis in the Middle East. And many Americans I talk to, they really do believe that this would not have happened under Donald Trump. We, of course, will see what he does once he is in the White House. But that definitely also is playing a role here in the United States.
This is a person we're talking about, Ines, who has experience of governance now. He has been president before, and in 2016, when there was no transition team in place, for example, it was really chaotic. There were lots of firings, people being hired, fired, helter-skelter. Do you think it's going to be different this time round?
Yes, he's more experienced and he has other people also surrounding him. I mean, he has no transition team in place yet, but this will change right tonight. I think we will see really what he kind of also promised, that he will take over governing from day one on, especially when he also has the majority in the Senate and maybe even in the House. We will see major policies within the first couple of weeks when it comes to climate politics, when it, of course, comes to migration politics, when it comes to LGBTQ plus rights. We will see a tremendous shift to the more conservative side. And we in Europe, Germany, will definitely also see a very, very different approach to the support of Ukraine. And then it shall be interesting to see how Donald Trump tries to change his support, the support of the United States, of NATO, and then, of course, also of the United Nations. So the world better gets prepared for major changes, and Europe better gets prepared to kind of get its act together, to get more independent from the United States, because this is also something, Beresh, we heard over and over during our reporting here over the last couple of months, that many Americans are tired too, that's in their understanding, are paying so much money to other countries to support Ukraine, and they think that Europe, especially Germany, should pay more. And this will be something Donald Trump will be changing very, very fast once he's back in the White House on January 20th.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that sort of pans out. I've already been told that we're expecting a press conference from Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock at any moment now. But Nicole, you had a point to make about the popular vote.
I want to do some fact-checking here, because Donald Trump, when he took the stage, said that he had won the popular vote. That is not yet clear. States like California, you know, the nation's most populous state, only 48% of votes there have been counted. The election was called because California is, of course, a traditionally Democratic state. There are still millions of votes that have not yet been counted, and we do need to wait until we know for sure how the American public voted to make these kinds of assumptions. That's the fact-checking we can do on Donald Trump on the fly. There's plenty more we can do later, I'm sure, but that is as far as I'll go at this point.
It is still a claim to election victory. It's not been officially certified, or it's not been officially declared, at least by the Associated Press, whom we are following for our results. And if you can see on the small ticker that we have, the widget that we have up there, still 3 votes short, although he's claiming that the Trump campaign will be able to reach 315 votes. We'll see in the coming few hours. Jessica, you were listening to the speech, a lot of things that Donald Trump said. I just wonder, are we on the verge of an epochal shift in the way America deals with the world and America deals with itself?
Well, we're seeing the rise of a regime that is going to be very different from 2016-17, particularly when it comes to foreign relations. And Donald Trump has said as much. This is going to signal a move away of the United States from liberal internationalism. The idea that as a liberal democracy, America has a function to interact with the rest of the world and pose not only for its own interest, but also consider the interest and the security of others, which, of course, in the end, will also benefit the United States. Donald Trump has said in so many words that that's not what he's going to be and going to do. And I want to say one more word of the speech, because we spent so much time looking at it right now. This was, in many ways, very typical Trump, stream of consciousness, rambling on, you know, people starting to look at their iPhones because, you know, what is it really that he's saying? But at the same time, I think he was very clear in the sense that when he talked about foreign relations, it's all about borders and security. This is not about it's not going to be about interaction. It's not going to be alliances. It's not going to be climate accords or anything like this. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting is the kind of nonverbal language that we got here. He tried so hard to get a lot of people on stage and make this a family event and bow to what he's going to bow to anyway, which is people in high places like Elon Musk, and then play, I don't know whether you picked up on this, play YMCA, Young Men, as he was coming on stage, and then afterwards America. A very, very clear symbol of what his policy is going to be about, not only in terms of, you know, non-feminism, but also international relations. So I think, yes, this is going to be a watershed.
Yeah. And